In the digital age, the perfect crime is a myth. Discover how hidden car data exposed a ruthless underground empire. Stay tuned for the truth.
Does the perfect crime truly exist in the digital age? Today's investigative hypothesis takes us to a nearly flawless murder scene. The perpetrators escape in a car without license plates, and all biological physical traces are wiped clean. The heads of the underground organization thought they had completely defeated the traditional security system. But they forgot an invisible witness hidden deep right inside the car's dashboard. How can forensic technology extract this data system to topple an entire ruthless ring? Let's dive deep into the analysis together. In your opinion, which electronic device is most likely to snitch on criminals today? Please leave a comment below, hit like, and subscribe to the channel to accompany us on this journey to decode this mystery. In the early days of March 2026, the U.S. Department of Justice announced a landmark development in a multi-year investigation. The focus of the analysis system this time is directed toward a complex illicit drug distribution ring and a tragedy that claimed a human life. The second subject in this network, 31-year-old Taliao Talvala Afalava, has officially faced the legal system. This event simultaneously serves as an incredibly vivid testament to the level of effectiveness of the large-scale security operations currently underway. Judicial records identify him as an accomplice to 38-year-old Filimon Tavaki, a figure from San Francisco. The law enforcement system took strategic steps by indicting Tavaki a long time prior, aiming to systematically dismantle the entire structure of this underground organization. Let's travel back in time to analyze the hypothesis regarding the root cause leading to this tragedy in late March 2021. Investigative data shows that an illicit drug distribution network had extended its distinct tentacles into the community, bringing along incredibly ruthless, unwritten rules. The victim in the case is believed to have been entangled in an unpayable debt, pushing himself into an extremely perilous situation. Investigative Bureau Director Kash Patel directly confirmed the detailed information about this case on mass media platforms so that the public could be well informed. Accordingly, suspect Garcia had been quietly living and hiding in the United States using highly sophisticated methods of concealment. The investigators' hypothesis points out that the act of taking the victim's life right at their doorstep was not only revenge but also a systemic deterrent message. The pitiful victim in the incredibly heartbreaking case that occurred previously in El Salvador was a highly respected pastor in the local community. What made the public feel even more agonizing sorrow and outrage was the fact that this pastor was a family member of a police officer. Every single wrong decision can entail the downfall of not just one individual, but also persistent pain for an entire family and insecurity for society. After the crime occurred, the perpetrators quickly escaped, leaving behind a scene that seemingly had no clear physical clues to follow. However, instead of surrendering or yielding, those events tinged with tragedy only further ignited the flame of determination within the functional agencies. However, in the digital technology era, every action, no matter how carefully calculated, can hardly escape the dense electronic surveillance network covering everywhere. The profound lesson that each of us can draw from this tragedy is the appreciation and gratitude towards those individuals who bravely stand up to defend what is right. Surveillance footage shows a mysterious car without license plates appeared and moved in a highly calculating manner around the victim's home area. Analyzing this car's movement trajectory helped investigators reconstruct a complete hypothesis about the target approach tactics of the suspicious subjects. Just minutes after the car stopped, deafening sounds rang out, which were recorded with extreme precision by the acoustic sensor system and cameras in the database. Immediately after, the image of two men hurriedly running toward the waiting car further reinforced the hypothesis of an organized and pre-planned action. This was the very starting point for a large-scale digital footprint manhunt by law enforcement agencies aimed at finding the truth. Have you ever wondered how investigators can track the trace of a car completely lacking license plates or any clear identifying features? The answer lies in systemic analysis capabilities and the outstanding advancement of digital forensic technology in deciphering microscopic clues left behind. Connecting isolated data points from various camera sources helped authorities reconstruct the entire escape journey of this mysterious car. When the car was found, a new breakthrough hypothesis was boldly proposed by high-tech investigative experts and immediately tested at the laboratory. They shifted their attention from conventional biological physical traces to the infotainment system deeply integrated inside the car's center console. It was this tiny electronic system that held a massive amount of data about the people who had stepped into the cabin and connected their personal devices. Digital forensic analysis exposed a truth the perpetrators could never have expected when they synchronized their phones with the car's smart system. Data from the infotainment system created an indelible electronic log directly connecting the car to specific personal phone numbers. These numbers, after a process of cross-referencing and telecommunication system analysis, were definitively identified as belonging to the two main suspects wanted in the case. The profound lesson drawn from this analytical investigation process is that in today's modern world, complete anonymity is practically a digital impossibility. Every electronic device we use, every connection we establish leaves permanent digital footprints on a colossal borderless storage system. Raising community awareness about the existence of these invisible traces not only helps prevent crime, but also robustly supports justice in the crime-solving process. With the ironclad electronic evidence gathered, the subjects are now facing a series of highly serious charges under the strict regulations of the federal legal system. These charges are not merely about the use of force, but are directly related to a large-scale and highly systematically organized illicit drug distribution system. The structure of the indictment is built upon the logical connection between the illegal underground economic motive and the ruthless violent behavior aimed at protecting personal interests. If the prosecutorial hypothesis is successfully proven at trial, the sentence for the subjects will be an ironclad testament to the strictness and fairness of the legal system. A minimum sentence of 20 years in prison, potentially reaching life imprisonment, is an incredibly powerful deterrent message sent to individuals intending to join criminal networks. This strict sanction is designed as a social defense system to prevent the spread of the seeds of ruthless crime in the future. The success of the initial crime-solving step is not the result of a singular effort, but a testament to the power of an incredibly tight and professional interagency coordination system. The Federal Bureau of Investigation and local police agencies established a highly effective information and resource exchange network to jointly solve this particularly complex case. The strategic analysis and sharing of data among levels of law enforcement is the most crucial key to shattering the sophisticated defensive walls of criminal organizations. The presence of high-ranking officials from the Department of Justice down to field agents demonstrates the strategic importance of maintaining a solid, multi-layered security system. When authorities combine their distinct strengths, from the ability to reach the local community to high-level digital expertise, they create an overwhelming force. This synchronized cooperation mechanism is the solid foundation for building a safer society where every law-breaking act must be brought to the light of justice. In your opinion, what knowledge does our community need to equip itself with to be able to protect ourselves from the complex consequences of increasingly sophisticated organized crime rings? Educating the younger generation about the deadly traps of the underworld and how to recognize potentially dangerous signs is an incredibly important part of building a remote prevention system. Family and school must play a central role in orienting humanistic values and developing sharp situational analysis skills for the youth. Alongside the strictness of the law, we also cannot overlook a supreme principle in a democratic justice system, which is the presumption of innocence for all defendants. An indictment, no matter how detailed and logical, is merely a collection of legal hypotheses that needs to be verified through a public and fair trial process. This system ensures that every decision to deprive a person of their freedom must be based on undeniable evidence, leaving absolutely no reasonable doubt. This profoundly humane principle does not diminish the community's outrage toward the crime. On the contrary, it protects the most core values of a civilized society. Respecting the due process requires patience and firm belief in the legal system's self-correcting ability to find the ultimate truth of every matter. At the same time, this process also brings an opportunity for the parties to present multidimensional analyses and counter-arguments, helping the overall picture of the case become clearer and more objective than ever. When looking back at this entire tragic chain of events, we clearly see a loop of tragedy activated by greed and the absence of foundational moral values in life. From a debt related to addictive substances, a priceless life was taken, dragging along the brokenness of many families and extreme panic within the entire residential community. Analyzing the structure of this tragedy helps us realize that crime never stands alone, but is always the inevitable consequence of a chain of deep fractures in the social system. Are we truly fully aware of the hidden risks from technological habits and incredibly complex social relationships in today's modern world? This murder case is an ironclad reminder that every choice, no matter how small, can become fateful links in a colossal, unpredictable system of cause and effect. Maintaining a transparent lifestyle, cherishing the value of human life, and resolutely staying away from toxic material temptations is the best defense system for each of us individually. The journey to seek justice is still ongoing, and the upcoming trials will be where the investigative hypotheses are rigorously put to the test under the light of standard law. No matter what the final outcome is, the message about the power of modern forensic technology and the resolute determination of the law enforcement system has been affirmed incredibly strongly and clearly. The community entirely has the right to hope for a bright future where humanistic values are honored and acts violating the common peace will be completely eliminated from daily life. The investigating agency applied a highly excellent systemic analysis philosophy when they didn't just look at the crime scene but also expanded their vision to the entire ecological context of automotive technology. The car is not merely a means of transportation, but in this era it acts as a second electronic brain recording every behavioral interaction of its driver. Extracting data from the car's infotainment system has established an incredibly innovative new standard for criminal investigations in the future. The development of surveillance technology has completely reshaped the hypotheses about the escape methods of criminals trying to evade the appropriate punishment of federal law. Previously, dark spaces without cameras or direct witnesses were considered absolutely safe havens for shady activities, but now personal devices themselves are betraying their owners. This is a highly vivid analytical testament showing that technology, when used for the right purposes, will become a solid shield protecting peace and order for the entire society. The educational value of this case goes beyond the boundaries of a regular legal story because it touches upon core issues of morality, lifestyle, and the responsibility of every citizen. Spreading positive information about the efforts of authorities will help consolidate the people's trust in a justice system that is always operating tirelessly for the common goal. We need to turn these heartbreaking stories into vivid, real-life lessons aimed at increasing the community's resistance against the deadly temptations of transnational criminal organizations. Whenever we analyze criminal records, we can easily recognize a systemic rule that no underground empire can exist forever in the face of the light of justice. Illicit drug distribution networks, no matter how tightly and sophisticatedly organized, always contain fatal flaws stemming from the very greed and carelessness of the participants. Applying advanced investigative techniques combined with support from the information technology system has helped peel back every sly layer of their camouflage incredibly effectively. Try to imagine if the forensic analysis system hadn't discovered the data connection from the car, where would the progression of this investigation lead, and what difficulties would it face? It is highly likely that the perpetrators would still be roaming free outside the law and continuing to sow boundless grief for other families in a community that has already suffered much trauma. This hypothesis further highlights the importance of continuously investing in upgrading the investigative technology system to maintain absolute initiative in the battle against evil and injustice. The rhythmic coordination between local police and federal agents is a fantastic analytical model of how components within a large system support and complement each other's shortcomings. Local police hold a priceless advantage in territorial understanding and grassroots information networks, while federal forces bring vast forensic technology resources and investigative authority. When these two sources of power blend together, they create a sweeping network with no loopholes, ensuring that every criminal hypothesis is verified as thoroughly as possible. For the community education system to maximize its effectiveness, we need to integrate practical analyses from cases like this into current extracurricular programs for teenagers. Early exposure to knowledge about cybersecurity crime identification skills and strict legal consequences will help young people form an incredibly solid cognitive filter. These systemic lessons will be valuable baggage helping future generations confidently step into life without getting lost in front of vain promises about a wealthy life from crime. The legal system does not only punish, but more importantly, it carries within itself the mission to heal and reestablish a balanced order for a society at risk of being shattered by violence. The indictment targeting the illicit drug distribution subjects is exactly a massive effort to sever the octopus tentacles that are day and night draining the vitality and hope of countless young people. By analyzing and eradicating the structure of this ring from its roots, the authorities are sending a fierce belief in a clean and safe community for all citizens. This investigation is a perfect testament to the combination of human intelligence and massive data analysis artificial intelligence systems in the field of security, order, and law enforcement. The tireless efforts of the investigative team as they had to sift through thousands of hours of video and millions of gigabytes of data have reflected an incredibly professional and dedicated working spirit. These are the very silent heroes who are dedicating their brainpower day and night to protect the most beautiful humanistic values and maintain a social system operating in stability and development. Thank you for accompanying us in the process of analyzing and setting forth in-depth hypotheses about one of these highly complex and incredibly high community educational value cases. Please hit like on the video to spread these humanistic messages to even more people in our community. At the same time, please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the latest systemic analysis content about important social events helping us gain deeper and more comprehensive perspectives on life.